Welcome to our channel Crime Loom, the place where true crime stories come alive. It was the early 1960s in the quiet towns surrounding Manchester, England. Life seemed ordinary on the streets where children played and families went about their routines. But hidden behind closed doors and in the shadows of the moors, a darkness was brewing that would shock the entire nation. Two people, Brady and Myra Hindley, would come to be remembered as some of the most infamous criminals in British history, leaving a trail of fear, grief, and incomprehensible horror. Brady was born in 1938 in Glasgow, Scotland. From a young age, he showed signs of being different from other children. He was quiet, withdrawn, and sometimes displayed troubling behavior that worried those around him. As he grew older, his fascination with control, power, and violence became more apparent. By the time he moved to Manchester, he had already developed a mind that was dark and calculating. Myra Hindley was born in 1942 in Crime Loom, a district in Manchester. She grew up in a seemingly ordinary household, though life was not without its difficulties. Myra was described as shy but ambitious, with a desire to be noticed and to belong. When she met Brady, the two formed a connection that would eventually turn deadly. They were drawn to each other, not by love in the traditional sense, but by a shared interest in deviant fantasies and a dangerous curiosity about power over others. Their relationship quickly became obsessive. Brady was the dominant partner, often manipulating Myra into participating in acts she might never have considered on her own. Together, they formed a dangerous team. They shared plans and fantasies that grew darker with each passing day. The first of their known victims was a young girl named Pauline Red. She was only 16 years old, full of life and promise. On a fateful day in 1963, Pauline encountered and Myra. She had no idea that her life was about to be violently taken from her. They lured her, trapped her, and ultimately ended her life. This first murder set the stage for the horrors that were to follow. Soon after, they targeted another child, John. John was 10 years old, a boy with a bright smile and a loving family. And Myra's actions were cruel and unthinkable. They did not hesitate, and they carried out their crimes with chilling precision. Each murder was carefully planned, each victim chosen to satisfy their perverse desires. The bodies of their victims were often hidden on the moors near Manchester. These vast stretches of open land, usually peaceful and quiet, became the grave sites of young lives lost. The public had no idea that such evil could exist so close to their homes. In places where children once played and families walked without fear, as the years went by, their crimes escalated. Keith Bennett, Leslie Ann Downey, and Edward Evans became the names of other victims in this horrifying story. Each child was snatched, abused, and killed. And Myra were meticulous in their secrecy. For a time, they managed to evade suspicion, living seemingly normal lives while hiding unspeakable secrets behind closed doors. Myra Hindley, in particular, played a role that would forever define her in the minds of the public. She helped lure children, and she was present during many of the crimes. Though some may have wondered if she could have stopped the truth is that she was complicit, allowing herself to be drawn deeper into the darkness. Brady's mind, however, was the driving force. He was cold, calculating, and remorseless. He kept careful records, photographs, and even wrote notes detailing their crimes. It was as if he wanted to preserve the memories of his horrific acts. He was never afraid of being caught, and for a time, it seemed they could continue without consequence. But as the saying goes, no secret lasts forever. The police began to piece together clues, led by small details and hints that the public might have overlooked. One fateful day, the law finally caught up with them. Their arrest in 1965 brought an end to the immediate threat they posed, but the horror they caused would linger for decades. The trial of Brady and Myra Hindley captured the attention of the entire country. Newspapers reported every detail, every revelation, adding to the shock and disbelief of a society trying to understand how such evil could exist among them. The courtroom was filled with families, journalists, and citizens, all seeking answers, all trying to grasp the incomprehensible nature of the crimes. Both were convicted of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. In the eyes of the law, justice had been served. But for the families of the victims, the pain was never. The lives of Pauline, John, Keith, Leslie Ann, and Edward were gone, stolen forever by two people who had no regard for innocence or life. Myra Hindley spent the rest of her life in prison. Over the years, she expressed regret and remorse, but the public largely rejected any notion of forgiveness. Her name became synonymous with betrayal and cruelty, a chilling reminder of the darkness that people are capable of. She died in 2002, still behind bars, leaving behind a legacy of fear and infamy. Brady remained in prison until his death in 2017. He refused to show remorse, maintaining a cold and defiant stance to the end. His life ended in confinement, a reflection of the monster he had become, trapped in the very system he had once sought to evade. The story of Brady and Myra Hindley is not just a tale of crime. It is a story of human psychology, of manipulation, and of the darkness that can hide behind ordinary appearances. It reminds society that evil can take root anywhere, that vigilance and awareness are necessary, and that even the most quiet neighborhoods can hide unimaginable horrors. In the years since their crimes, the Moors murders have continued to haunt the public consciousness. Books, documentaries, and news articles have recounted the events, analyzing every detail of Brady and Hindley's actions. The search for Keith Bennett's remains, for example, continued long after the deaths of the killers, showing that some wounds take decades to heal. Psychologists and criminologists have studied Brady extensively, trying to understand the mind of someone capable of such cruelty. Myra Hindley's case has also been scrutinized, with experts debating the extent of her culpability and the power dynamics between the two. Their story has become a cautionary tale, studied to prevent similar tragedies in the future. The Moors themselves, once a place of innocent recreation, have become symbols of tragedy. The winds that blow across the hills seem to carry echoes of the children who were lost, a silent reminder of the evil that once walked there. For the families, every day is a struggle, and the memory of their children is preserved in stories, photographs, and a painful but enduring love. That as time passes, the events of the 1960s may feel like distant history, but the impact of Brady and Myra Hindley remains vivid. Their names are forever etched into the annals of crime history, a dark chapter that continues to fascinate and horrify. The story is a warning. Evil can be seductive, manipulative, and often hidden behind ordinary faces. It is up to society to remain vigilant, to protect its children, and to remember the lessons of the past. The legacy of the Moors murders serves not just as a recounting of crime, but as a reminder of the fragility of innocence and the resilience of those left behind. Families, law enforcement, and communities have all learned from this tragedy, shaping how crimes against children are investigated and prevented. The shadow of Brady and Myra Hindley may never fully disappear, but the world continues to learn from the horrors they inflicted. Even decades later, people study their story not to glorify it but to understand it. Every documentary, every book, and every discussion keeps the memory of the victims alive while dissecting the motives and psychology of the perpetrators. It's a difficult story to tell, but it's essential to remember, lest society forget the consequences of unchecked evil. In the end, the tale of Brady and Myra Hindley is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can exist in the human mind, the danger of manipulation, and the importance of vigilance. It is a story of loss, tragedy, and the ultimate triumph of justice. However delayed, it is a narrative that will continue to be studied and remembered for generations. A warning and a lesson wrapped in the lives of the children.
Subscribe to Crime Loom and join us as we unravel